When people see Zawda Hussein rearranging electrical wires and climbing a ladder to get a better look at an electrical circuit on a roof, they stop to take a second look. And before long, their gazes turn into inquisitive stares.
People have never witnessed a female working in this sphere, so I often become the center of attention, especially when I am working with my male colleagues in fixing or installing electricity. I feel embraced because they come together to watch us. Some think of me positively, while a majority of them discourage me.
Hussein is part of a sorority of women in Somalia working to normalize the presence of women in male-dominated fields. And they're not alone. Across the continent, women are breaking down stereotypes in the workplace. In Morocco, one woman and her sister saw a chance to break down barriers in a man's world, auto mechanics. Najle Lakkar says, changing a tire, that's easy, but changing minds about a woman's place in society, not so much.
You have to be aggressive and stick with it until people eventually accept it. We ask ourselves why men can choose jobs traditionally done by women, then why can't women choose jobs traditionally done by men? But perceptions are changing, and now I find people are more proud of my sister and me than anything else.
A 2017 Pew Research Center report says the top 5 countries with the highest rate of women in the workforce are in Africa. But there's a catch. Women in these countries are more likely to be in the informal employment sector compared to their male counterparts. These jobs, unregulated by the government, often have lower and unstable incomes, according to the report. And the International Labor Organization says informal employment typically has no legal or social protections. For many women like Haza Nzota, an engineer with Air Tanzania, it's not just about securing a job that her and her family can depend on. It's also about changing expectations.
This thing is not as masculine as it sounds. It can be done. So I encourage all the females out there to pursue this part of aviation as aircraft engineers.
In Somalia, Badri Abdi Baris, who runs the electrical school where Zawda Hussein trained, thinks there is a cultural shift beginning to take place in Somalia, one that could bring gender equality to the workplace.
Traditionally in this country, women are not used to being technicians. However, as the world now seems to be having a tendency of gender-balanced jobs, women in this country are beginning to be brave enough to come along the mainstream of hands-on jobs. In the beginning, they were very few. Now, we have 21 female electricians, and we expect hundreds in the near future.
The expectations have taken hold globally. The U.S. saw the highest number of women entering Congress in the last midterm elections, many of them women of color, including Ilhan Omar, a Democrat from Somalia who now calls Minnesota and Washington, D.C. home. Omar and her female congressional colleagues helped change the face of power in Washington.
We have never needed a permission or an invitation. All we ever asked was for people to step out of our way so we could take our rightful place.
If Omar is any indication, a woman's rightful place might be in the House after all, the House of Representatives in the United States Congress.